Hello, it's 11:28 p.m. at night. Well, today was just not my day. I had a rough day all day today. So, um, so I got, it was earlier today. I had like two people in the so-called TI community on TikTok that were acting bizarre towards me. And, and one of them professed to be like a so-called, King James Bible believing Christian. So, so I mean, I think both of them profess to be Christian. That made upsetting comments at me. So, I mean, so I mean, um, well, I thought that my mind was, like normal, and I thought I was ready to do a video, but excuse me. Excuse me. So now it's like my brain can't even feel like I can't even function. But so if I mean, and the lady that's supposed to be Christian that posts a lot of Bible scriptures, all she does is sit behind a desk. But in a lot of videos, she don't even say much or nothing. But she claimed to be Christian and targeted, and then try to insinuate that I deserve to be harassed more as punishment for not ignoring and for reacting to everything. When that video was about the humming noise coming from the refrigerator because another target had asked me, about something along those lines earlier yesterday. So I mainly did the video to show her the humming noise, that come from the refrigerator. And so that other lady had pretty much attacked me and tell me that I need to calm down, and trying to make like, oh, you react to every little thing, then that perp's got you. And I'm like, I'm wondering, does she tell that to every target that exposes their gang stalking? So I already told y'all about the messy perp that's supposed to be homeless, and she likes to call everybody else a scammer, but she's doing the same thing, claimed to be homeless and targeted and got up a CashApp. So I didn't even pay much attention to the moon or nothing today, but tonight when I went outside. All I know is everybody's fucking tripping and acting weird. So I don't know if today is a satanic ritual high day, because a lot has been going on today. And then it's the 11th. So I heard about how the state of Texas needs to be, like the entire state of Texas needs to be on guard because of Title 42 ending. So, I mean, if anything there was to be prepared about, I'm damn sure not prepared for anything at all. I already had my shit hit the fan moment with constantly in survival mode, and being broken, poor, and the perps be making threats to have me back on the streets at any moment and stuff. So, I mean, I'd be scared to live every day like it's my last day here because I never know what's gonna happen. I mean, something can happen in the next 12 hours that would cause me to either be jailed, institutionalized, or back on the streets again. But today they forced me to have to come out of the house today. And they were harassing me all evening long. Whoever that cowardly troll was, blasting loud music. I don't know if it was the same one perp passing by. I mean, could you imagine doing that to someone? I mean, you got enough gas to waste and burn just to harass and drive by blasting loud music back and forth for hours. But I guess it's the demons that drive them to do it. So I mean, so I was forced to have to leave out of here and step outside and try to figure out who the fuck that was doing that. You know, I didn't get any peace at all this evening and earlier part of tonight. Even shortly before I got on this video right here, I heard some loud blasting music. And so, I mean, I had from the comments from TikTok, the abusive, narcissistic, fake TI perp comments, and then the noise harassment, all that together frustrated me enough to almost want to have a fucking meltdown. And I had some other people too, like this narcissistic, control freak, fake TI perp, one of the popular fakes that's untouchable. You know, you're way younger than me, but I can't stand up to you. So, narcissistic and controlling and trying to say, well, I'm not trying to say that you deserve it, but you keep reacting to these perps and they're going to keep messing with you or whatever, or they're going to keep harassing you and then turn around and start spouting off some new age bullshit. But you fucking Muslim. So, I mean, it's like you get frustrated at the perps too. So did you have a change of narrative and change your heart? Because how many times you would get frustrated at what they do? So I'm not trying to say that you deserve it, but other people say too that ignoring bullies does not make them stop, leave you alone, or go away. And I know by lifelong personal experience, even as far as 5th grade special ed elementary school, that teacher, Mr. Mitchell, used to narcissistically punish me for quote unquote not ignoring the boys picking on me in the classroom. And he would write in the biggest letters possible all across the board, ignore, all in all caps, like and I was in 5th grade, and he would narcissistically get mad and throw fake tantrums. But this is a teacher who used to make up lies on me too. So that teacher, Mr. Glenn Mitchell from McDonough 26. So and he used to rough handle and restrain people. He didn't care if you were a girl. I mean, you wouldn't even be violent or putting your hands on nobody. All you had to do was just not listen to him order you around and tell you what to do, and he would restrain you like, with, both arms crossed like that, as tight as possible. So but that's what they do: punish the victim of bullying rather than the perpetrators, and tell you to just ignore. Excuse me. And then they basically punish you the moment you had enough and then retaliate. But they just keep letting the victim get away with it until they push, poke, and prod you until you snap. So, yeah, I've been bullied and abused all my life. So they had this young female on YouTube. She's African, and I'm not sure what her husband is, but she mentioned in a community post today about how or maybe it was a couple of days ago, and I just saw it a couple hours ago. But she said basically to that they, if they have trolls harassing you and falsely reporting your channel, of course, block them. And she said those who try to tell you ignore it all, block them too, because she said basically they also want to see your downfall, and they don't really want to see you stand up for yourself. I'm just paraphrasing what she said. So yeah, but it's like that, just like the elderly messy lady that claimed to be homeless. She didn't even follow her own advice. And it's like you're the one who start arguments with people. So, meddling in people's business and picking on people, bullying people. And now you want to tell me to be the mature one and be professional in documenting your targeting and shit like that. Left me very confused. I haven't even contacted you in a long time. We haven't contacted each other because I don't know. As I said, I don't even know if she deleted her Twitter. But I'm tired of people on online and in person trying to. I mean, now I guess people say that even if they're older than you, you're about to be 40 years old, you shouldn't tolerate disrespect from anyone. So, but as I said, it gets underneath my skin more if you're younger than me and try to handle me a certain way. So because no way in hell Should I have to receive narcissistic lectures and being told off by somebody that's young enough to be my child? Or if they think they got more common sense than you. And I'm like, this kind of like repeats everywhere I go, because it's re-triggering me all over again from foster care abuse. That I have to do what everyone tells me to do what everyone says. But the Bible says trust no man, right? So why do I have to obey everybody's orders, or everybody trying to order me around, trying to control me and tell me what to do, and trying to tell me, dish out orders, trying to tell me how to live my life, yet they don't even care about me. And when you're in the biggest crisis, they want to victim blame and kick you down even harder. They don't give any kind of fuck about you. So today, the fake Darnell Williams perp and the fake Aquarium Doris perp, they left me alone. But somebody must have tapped David Jane on the shoulder and told him what I said. I mentioned the other day, about how, and David Jane left me alone for quite a long time, but I mentioned about how people will say that mentally disabled people like me, Sean, the biological brother Sean, and David Jane, if society, if they don't like us, and they call us greedy. But, David Jane made another fake new account to make slanderous, harassing perp comments, and I had to block him. A few days ago, I went on one of my old social media accounts and saw, pictures of us hanging out. So David wants to lie and say we never were friends. But I have pictures to prove otherwise. So the fake pastor Eric tried to say that, he went behind our backs and told Ben Fraud, who's another narc, trying to talk about that me and David Jane are the greediest people in the church, and that we come just for the food. And that we're greedy and come just for the food. Well, when I first went to the fake Hell's Way church, I wasn't a Christian and I wasn't a believer. And someone from the food bank had directed me to go to that church and say that they feed the poor and feed the homeless. So I thought that they were like, I didn't even know that they force you to become a member and sit through the fake church service first, being brainwashed with lies and manipulation and neuro-linguistic programming that lull you to sleep or make you cry or manipulate your emotions. And then they have junk food, fake dinner, excuse me, that will cause you violent, explosive, heartburn, and acid reflux. So, junk food that would cause acid reflux and heartburn. So much for saying nourishment for our bodies, Lord. But y'all act just like the world and just so fake. And for the pastor to be like, the fake pastor Eric was like only 5'8" or 5'10" or something like that. And I don't remember how many pounds he weighed, but if he was a little bitty dude and looked like Guile from Street Fighter, and and he would have like an explosive temper at the littlest thing to keep people, frightened and afraid. keep people in fear. And that fake pastor always put me on a back burner, always put me in last. So, yeah. So, as far as that pressure on my heart and stuff, I didn't feel it much today. So, right now I'm feeling kind of normal. That's why I say that had to have been directed energy weapons. And I showed y'all the drone right above my place. It looked like it was strategically aimed like at my house. So it's like last night wasn't my night and today wasn't my day. And it was the first time in a long time I felt like, damn, they trying to kill me. If they're torturing me with the directed energy weapons, trying to kill me up in here. And trying to go to the hospital and get checked out just for them to turn me back around and tell me nothing is wrong. So for them to turn me back around and tell me, nothing is wrong. So I thought they're hitting me with weapons, causing this painful pressure on my heart. They hit me with weapons to cause painful pressure on my heart. So, yeah, they ramped up the harassment today, maybe because they knew I had a feud. Well, not a feud, it wasn't a back and forth argument, but they knew I was upset at two people who claim to be targeted individuals. So, excuse me, so if I'm upset or have a feud with narcissistic control freak fake TI perps, whether they falsely profess to be Christian or not, they ramp up the gang stalking and make it even worse. So I wonder if today is a satanic ritual high day. So today, I guess it took 3.5 hours. I cooked the food on high in a crock pot, and I tried my best to not let the spaghetti turn to mush or the consistency of dumplings. I never had spaghetti like that before. So I put a whole box of the rotini pasta and I put it in a crock pot. I added I don't know if it could have been the equivalent of 4 or 5 tablespoons of coconut oil, and I put some of the brine, the sea salt. The Himalayan pink salt. I don't know what the measurement. I just poured some in there. The sea salt water. I just poured some in there. And then I put some frozen green beans on top of that, and I had it cooking on high. I had like frozen green beans, and then I put a package of cottage. I mean, not cottage. I keep saying cottage cream cheese. It was the generic Dollar General brand of Philadelphia cream cheese, and I have never really cooked with cream cheese. Never in my life before cooked with cream cheese before. But me trying out different things I never tried before. So I had the cream cheese put in there. Then I put 8 slices of American cheese on there. And then I cooked it down some. And of course the pasta expanded. And then after, like towards the end, wait, no, I put the American cheese towards the end. And I put the I put that barbecue shredded pork. I put that on top, and then I strained the canned carrots and put that on top, and I mixed it all together. And maybe because I put a lot of water and I didn't drain the water out, but it all expanded, and so the pasta soaked up all the water. And so the bottom part was all mushy, but the top part, I had a few pieces that were still a little hard. So I stirred it up, and I was afraid that the dish would burn since I had cheese in it, if I would have cooked it longer. So I put a serving for myself and then put it in the microwave and heated it up. Finished heating it up there. And then I had a brownie on the side. So I think I have about maybe about 5 more meals of that left over. So so I mean, I had about like 5 meals left over. Probably 5 or 6. So I had a certain amount of space in the freezer, so I couldn't put it in the freezer. I only put the 2 smaller containers in the freezer. So, but maybe because so much water soaked up the noodles, soaked up so much of the water. When I put the shredded pork in there, I guess the flavor was very, very diluted. But I still was able to taste some flavor, but it was very, very diluted. But because I forgot how I had it before. Because I had it when I first got here, that stuff, and I thought it was so good. I don't remember having it on a sandwich. I don't remember how I ate it. Let me try to remember. So I don't remember if I had it like as tacos or what. I don't remember how I had it, but I remember I thought it was very bold and tasted so good. I keep thinking I feel gnats touching me or harassing me, but I don't see them. So what time is it? Oh, it's 11:58 p.m. So I heard that the Jemiah Bratcher person was safe and found. What a relief. And I heard that she was not trafficked to Georgia like everybody was afraid that happened. So hopefully she can reunite with her family. So yeah, I mean, well, the dish, it was um it was still good, but it wasn't as cheesy and it wasn't as bold with that barbecue sauce. I mean, the barbecue shredded meat or whatever. It wasn't as bold as I would have thought it was gonna be. But if I would have cooked it a different way, I think the flavor would have been different. Well, I didn't know in advance that it would be like I would have a struggle. I was wondering. I was hope I didn't lose my touch for cooking. I was hoping I didn't lose my touch for cooking. But I made some good and some bad recipes. You know, success and failure recipes in the crock pot. But it was a much smaller crock pot. And so I don't have that much experience with cooking with a crock pot, but on a regular stove, I could have cooked the pasta much better. And I could have cooked the pasta much better on a stove. And even if I would have had, I guess, one burner or a hot plate or whatever. and separate it and set it aside. And then, you know, cooked everything else in a pan or a Dutch oven, and then at the end combine everything, and it could have turned out much, you know, it could have turned out better. But also, you know, I have a certain amount of space in here, but I don't know, I just got bad struggling with cook trying to cook with the crock pot because um like everybody else make it seem so easy. But things would be so much simpler for me cooking on a stove. But I don't recall seeing a hot plate, and I couldn't think of the name of it when I was ordering. You know, the toaster oven, that's the closest to a portable oven that I could get. You know, but the crock pot, I thought things were gonna be easy, but the crock pot, I'm just hopefully one of these days I can make something real great. But even with the crock pot, some people say that, you know, that the meals look good and everything. So even my failure recipe, people thought that the concept or the idea looked so good. But I'm wondering if I could try to redo that all over again another time. So, excuse me, acid reflux. So it is now 12:03 a.m. on Friday, March 12th, 2023. So, but I mean, the toaster oven is so small, I wouldn't even know if it's possible how to do like miniature lasagna recipes or something like that. But some people say you could do a lasagna recipe in a crock pot, but they make it look so easy, you know. um, so, but yeah, I'm trying to, I don't even know what I could have done differently. But I mean, the meal wasn't a failure and it still tasted good. I just wish it could have been better, you know. But yeah, when I was looking for the the toaster oven and the crock pot, I meant to look for a toaster oven and I guess a hot plate or a one burner or something like that. But it's okay. Dollar General, I think they sell a burner for under $20. But then I would have to buy a pot or a pan or whatever. But I don't want to crowd this place up too much because, as I said, being targeted, I don't even know if or when I'll end up back on the streets again. And I hate living with that fear. So, but I guess I'll just try to keep trying to improve with the crock pot and get better at it. But the stove, I already know. I already know how to cook on a regular stove, but I guess with the crock pot, I can't get the measurements right, or I end up putting too much water, or if I cook it, then the rice or pasta will be mushy at the bottom and undercooked and hard at the top, even if I might stir a few times midway or something. So, but I don't know how I did it so great with soups. When I was living in Greenville, South Carolina, I mean, I had this butternut squash soup, and I think I had turkey breast cutlets or ground turkey. I don't remember, and I think it had some beans in it, and everybody went nuts over it. And they were still raving on months later about how good that soup was. So I had been homeless on the streets for a few years. So I need to not be so hard on myself, but the perps are going to be hard on me because they just want to be jackasses. Abusive, narcissistic, fake jackasses. So, but before I go though, if people shun you, if they shun me for having a GoFundMe or something like that, or a Cash App, being homeless trying to survive, and I have not asked for donations. Tomorrow makes a month since I've asked for any donations or asked for anything, even though I'm financially struggling and kind of having it rough, but I have not asked for any donations. And David Jane talking about oh, Candy doesn't need your donations. And he said some other harassing stuff full of, lies and everything. So it sounds like as if people are coaching David on what to say, because he ain't really that intelligent to talk like that. People, I think they have handlers coaching him on what to say, and him being like an obedient dummy puppet. He's sitting there doing whatever he's told. So either that, or a demon is operating through him. That this is not the same David. But remember, that's the same guy who likes to lick plates at restaurants. But you want to call me fat and greedy. You like to lick plates at restaurants. So, excuse me. Sorry. So, I saw her Beyonce narcissistically demanding, and certain other celebrities were narcissistically demanding for fans to pay $1,000 at their concerts. Don't y'all know that they had fake fans putting up GoFundMe just to go to a Beyonce concert, and people were donating? But you don't have the money. You just don't want to help the poor and homeless and suffering. So tell me how y'all got the money to donate to somebody for a fake celebrity concert, but you can't donate to somebody who's actually homeless and hungry. The only way you'll donate to a homeless, hungry person is once they're dead, and then you pretend to fake feel sorry. But all of a sudden, like on the streets, you lie and say you don't have the money, and you just don't want to help, and you act extra abusive and rude and nasty. But those, illegals that being trafficked into this country, I heard it, they're doing it as we speak right now. If they put up GoFundMe, I bet you y'all will help them. And so many people despise our American homeless people. But now that this crisis is going on, manufactured, people say, well, it's not a humanitarian crisis. This is an invasion. And it's time for war. So, and it seems like they manipulate and make lies, to make you feel sorry for them coming here illegally. So, we're not prejudiced against them for who their nationality. It's just a lot of us are saying, come here legally like everybody else. But if people say, we don't have, we can't help the poor and homeless and elderly and the military vets and the children and whatever, how are we going to help people from other nations and we can't even help our own people, or we don't want to help our own people? So, but yeah, I heard that they're being trafficked into this country. So, this is really scary, They getting undeserved royalty treatment. Royalty treatment. We couldn't go to their country and do the same thing. So, but I don't know though. But earlier when I had to go outside, those black capri pants that I got last year from the thrift store, I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to fit them. But I can still fit them, but they're kind of tight. But they're not overly tight, but they're kind of tight. But they're size 1X. So I'm surprised I didn't gain as much weight as I thought I did. But due to the targeting, me just trying to stay up in here to try to stay up in here to stay out of trouble. And otherwise, I would like to go take daily walks for exercise. They have a free gym. But couldn't use the gym equipment because if they have abusive narcissistic perps that will try to hijack the machine that I'm using and try to kick me off the machine, or do something else obnoxious. So, but I gotta check it out one of these days, But so they have a free gym. So they have some amenities here. I guess I ain't been taking advantage because of me just locking myself up in here because of, trying to avoid as much of the targeting as possible. And if they see a narcissistic control freak, fake TI perps see me in distress, if they see me in distress, what they do is kick me down even harder and trying to bitch at me about how I should ignore the perps. And, or they'll get really rude or, make nasty comments. But the main people that say we targeted individuals need to stick together, they're the first to unfollow or block you or somebody who will never want to contact you and you don't even know them and you never did them anything. So, if you're really a real targeted individual that's going through this suffering, but you're a fake, phony ass person. So, and then it's weird that if you're going through the targeting yourself and then turn around and perp somebody, that has me mind boggled. And you post all these Bible scriptures thinking it was excuse you your perping and playing both sides. So I'm surprised that the food that I bought seems like it will last me longer than a week from the day that I bought it. I think I went grocery shopping on Monday. So, yeah, I think it's gonna, I think the food I have is gonna last longer than a week. But I wish I had some milk and eggs. And I felt like, well, some tuna would be nice. Like a tuna sandwich, would be nice. So thanks for listening to me, and I'll see y'all later on.